Hello, everybody, and welcome to Velocitta. It's a beautiful day in the circuit located in the interior of São Paulo state with its 3,438 meters and 12 turns. We are ready for the second day of round 2 of a 6-round season of the Porsche Cup C6 Bank MasterCard 2023. On Saturday, Marcel Miller won race 2 of the Carrera Cup Championship after a great maneuver right at the start, jumping from third to first. Werner Neugebauer finished second, followed by pole position Nicolas Costa. In Sprint Challenge, championship leader Marcelo Tomassoni won after overtaking Antonella Bassani, the first female ever to get a pole position in Porsche Cup Brasil. Urubatán Jr. finished third. Now you watch race 2 at Velocitta for both Carrera Cup and Sprint Challenge with me, Sergio Lago, and Carlos Costa. Hello, Carlos. Ready for the ride?
Hello, Sergio. Very big pleasure to be here with you to broadcast one more round of the Porsche Cup Brazil Series. A good expectation for the Sunday races. Both races, actually, Carrera Cup and Sprint Challenge, as you said. We had interesting races yesterday in both of the championships, actually. I would highlight especially the Sprint Challenge race because of the particular battle there between Marcelo Tomassoni and Antonella Bassani, but the Carrera Cup race was also very interesting because throughout the whole pack we had some overtaking maneuvers and other particular battles as well, apart from the one that you just mentioned, the overtaking maneuver that Marcel Miller was able to do right in the beginning of the race after the rolling start, overtaking both pole seater Nicolas Costa and Werner Neugebauer. But anyway, the fact is that we have ideal conditions for today's races. Yesterday, the weather situation wasn't that stable, but anyway, we were able to have races in dry situation yesterday, and now with a hotter temperature, both in terms of track temperature and air temperature, so the expectation is quite good. Let's hear from our reporter, Renato Diniz.
Thiago Mendonça, todos os fãs da Porsche Cup Brasil, fãs de velocidade, de automobilismo. Pois é, vou falar que eu acho que o tempo ele foi meio gradativo esse final de semana, né? A gente começou na sexta-feira, quando eu tava aqui, aquela chuva que não deixou a gente fazer nada, praticamente não tivemos atividade de pista. Aí ontem começamos com o dia fechado, chuva, foi esquentando, pista foi secando e a gente terminou com um dia bem quente. E hoje, né? Amanheceu sem nenhuma nuvem, agora umas nuvenzinhas, mas um dia bem bonito para a corrida de hoje. Vocês estavam comentando do público e é demais olhar o Mirante aqui e ver recheado de fãs, a galera tá lá. O Sandrinho não vai conseguir mostrar porque tá bem longe daqui, viu, Sandrinho? Mas é muito legal ver o público chegando, a visitação de box, a galera interagindo, é um momento muito especial, tanto pro fã quanto pro piloto, que pode dar os brindes, pode fazer essa troca aí. E falando em troca, né, agora a gente tem a corrida 2 já com inversão de grid, então torna tudo mais interessante. E eu tô por aqui para trazer todas as notícias em primeira mão para vocês. Tamo junto.
Yeah, Renato was highlighting exactly the weather situation throughout the whole weekend. We had a lot of rain Friday, so it was a little bit difficult for the drivers in terms of free practice running. And then Saturday started with a little bit of rain as well and a lot of clouds, but throughout the day the situation got better, and today hotter, as I said. And she was also highlighting the fact that we have actually a lot of public in the stands, the crowd. It's interesting. This circuit has particularly some interesting areas to watch the race ahead of this Sunday's races that we will have, both above the pit area and also in throughout the whole circuit. We have some natural stands there for the fans. So a lot of people today as we see the highlights of race 1.
Exactly. At this moment, we see Alceu Feldman, Porsche number 1. He had to return that position that he won going off track, but then afterwards he recuperated himself and finished in 6th. He's going to be the pole position for today. And you see this Porsche 544. Marcel Miller won the race. Brilliant race by him. Brilliant start. And Lucas Salles, number 70, won the sports class. Also a great race by him. He finished in 5th yesterday. And then in the rookie class, we had Gustavo Farah winning the race. So those are two great races yesterday, as you said. First the Carrera Cup and then the Sprint Challenge. And today, Carlos, also with the inversion of the grid, which also turns the races much more interesting in the second day, we will have Alceu Feldman in the pole position. Now we see the race for Sprint Challenge yesterday, the best moments, where we saw Antonella Bassani, Carlos, starting from pole, the first female ever to get pole position in Porsche Cup Brazil.
Yeah, she made history, as you said. Such a young driver, 16 years old, only for Antonella Bassani, member of the Young Racing Academy of Porsche Brazil in 2023, also 2 times finalist of the FIA Girls on Track program. So we are talking about one of the most interesting prospects of Brazilian motorsport scene. And it's always important to have this diversity as well. Women, in her case, a girl actually, and racing side by side with experienced drivers such as Marcelo Tomazoni, for example. Also Urubatan Jr., Christian Moro, Gustavo Zanon, a lot of accomplished drivers that are already adapted to the series, and Antonella Bassani is only in the start of this journey, if you can say so. We already see that she has improved a lot from Interlagos, and at Velocitta, she is already way more comfortable because we can remember that she was a little bit nervous prior to the season opening at Interlagos. But anyway, very interesting display from Antonella and also from Marcelo Tomazoni that had to overtake Antonella in order to win. Until the end of the race, they had a battle there because in the final stages of the race, Marcelo Tomazoni lost a bit of pace, but anyway, he was able to stay ahead and win, as we see Werner Neubauer talking there with his race engineer, Guilherme Ferro. And we're getting close to the starting moment for this first race of the second race, actually, of Carrera Cup at round 2, as we see Lineu Pires, and we hear once more from Renata Diniz.
Aí você falou do carro do Roman e do carro do Menossi, falou, é meio parecido ali, tem um propósito e tal. E teve, na verdade, o público votou neste layout. Então o Roman vai contar tudo pra gente como é que foi a decisão desse layout, de onde veio essa ideia?
Cara, eu e o Menossi decidimos fazer uma parceria esse ano, então nós somos uma equipe. Tínhamos que correr com o mesmo layout, a gente decidiu, em vez de nós escolhermos o layout, deixar o nosso público da Porsche Cup escolher o layout. Nós tivemos 22 layouts, o público votou e decidiu, esse foi eleito o melhor layout. Estamos agora eu e o Menossi com o mesmo carro e vamos seguir assim a temporada toda.
É isso aí, entendeu? Foi o público que decidiu, Luke. Teve a votação lá no Instagram, o público decidiu e o carro tá aqui materializado pra galera poder, não só um, né, mas 2 com o mesmo layout. Valeu, Roman. Boa corrida, Luke.
Yeah, nice interview there with Roman Jimkevich. He was talking about the layout, the livery of the car. He's actually a partner of Eduardo Menossi, another driver of this Porsche Carrera Cup Championship this year, so they share engineers, this kinds of stuff. And
então,
of course,
tem
they have the similar layout as well, and it was defined through a poll in the internet. So Rajan Mascarello now talking to Renata Diniz.
Foi campeão na Challenge, agora correndo na carreira. Vai fazendo um balanço de como está sendo a sua adaptação, como é que você está sentindo?
O carro é bem diferente, né? A gente está subindo de degrau em degrau. Eu acho que está vindo uma evolução muito rápida até. Achei que ia demorar mais tempo para pegar o jeito do carro. Classificação de ontem a gente já ficou entre os 8 ali, então excelente. A estratégia da largada foi boa, mas não encaixou no último momento. Enfim, foi uma corrida de recuperação depois que eu fui para a grama. Eu acho que o ano está só começando ainda para nós. Então tem muitas corridas pela frente. Do jeito que a gente está vindo evoluindo, creio que vamos dar trabalho para o povo aí. Da nossa categoria, claro, e quem sabe brigar com os chefão lá na frente.
Isso, ó. Tá confiante, hein?
Ah, sim, Sempre, né? A gente vem para ganhar, mas competir também faz parte.
Muito bom, Rajan. Obrigada, boa corrida. Luke?
Yeah, funny interview there with Rajan Mascarello. He said that he comes to win, but competing is also part of the job, of course, joking about his expectations for this race. He's a driver of the sport class division in the Carrera Cup Championship and has been the champion of the Sprint Challenge series last year. So now he's making another step in terms of competitiveness, and of course it's a new car for him, a little bit more powerful. In the Carrera Cup Championship we have the Porsche 992 with around 460 horsepower, a little bit more powerful than the 991-2 that we have in the Sprint Challenge Championship with something like 450 horsepower. So it's an extra challenge for Rajah Mascarello. Let's hear from Rodrigo Melo and Max Wilson.
Eu testei o carro do Rodrigo agora antes da corrida, que ontem ele teve um toquinho numa disputa e só passei para ele que tá tudo bem com o carro dele tá 100% para ele acreditar e ir para cima.
É isso. E aí, Rodrigo, depois de uma chancela dessa, vai com tudo.
Vou com tudo. Na verdade, depois, quando você chegou, a gente estava falando sobre o chopp que a gente vai tomar depois que acabar a corrida, entendeu? E aí foi sobre isso que a gente estava conversando.
O Luque Monteiro falou lá, me convidem.
Ah, com certeza. O Luque, o problema de convidar ele é que ele fica até tarde, entendeu?
O Luque vai, ele canta, faz stand-up, faz tudo, é show completo, né?
Ontem ele deu um showzaço pra gente lá.
É isso aí, obrigada. Boa corrida, Rodrigo. Valeu, Max. Luque?
Yeah, Rodrigo Melo there, and
Você
Max
tava com a sua
Wilson,
brother, tá
one
tudo
of
bem.
the driver consultants of Porsche Brazil. Max said actually that he tested Rodrigo's car prior to today's race because Rodrigo suffered a touch yesterday and Max had the job to check and everything's all right. He confirmed that his car is okay for Rodrigo Melo, and they were also talking about the beers that they will drink after today's race as well. So a good mood for most of these drivers, and it seems that yesterday they celebrated a bit with the series play-by-play commentator Luque Monteiro in Brazil.
De capacete e de boné, eu preciso falar do boné do Chico Horta, que ele chegou nessa etapa aqui no Velocitta, tá fazendo o maior sucesso. Eu falei que ia ser sucesso, não falei, Chico?
Falou mesmo, você que pediu, falou, cadê o boné de onça? Quando a gente fez o carro de onça, eu falei, mas cadê o boné de onça? É isso aí, para o pessoal poder participar, a gente fez o boné de onça aqui, para lembrar sempre das maior felino brasileiro, preservação da onça pintada, isso aí.
Muito bom. E aí, expectativa para essa corrida?
Acho que vai ser uma corrida boa, né? Durante o final de semana foi bastante chuva, agora tá um tempo lindo. Tomara que tenha uma largada bacana, todo mundo se respeite. Eu especificamente quero ver se eu vou um pouquinho mais para frente e que seja uma corrida bacana para todo mundo.
Isso aí. Valeu, Chico. Boa corrida.
Obrigado.
Luque?
Yeah, nice chat there with Francisco Horta. He had this layout in his car, and then he made the cap similar to the layout, also promoting respect to animals and actually animal diversity. Environment is a very important matter in Brazil, as we saw there also other drivers in the grid. Attila Abreu, one of the driver coaches, Stock Car Pro Series driver, and good expectation for Francisco Horta for this round.
Eu fiquei te acompanhando esse final de semana inteiro. Então, lá na sexta-feira, aquela cara
Now
meio
we
fechada.
talk to Jorge
Também
Frangulis.
o início de dia, aquela coisa meio imprevisível, a gente não sabia o que ia acontecer com a pista, a condição de pista e tal. Mas, Frangulis, você tá indo muito bem. Aí tem a inversão de grid e na outra, você largou na pole, inclusive, com essa inversão. Conta pra gente, faz um balanço aí e manda um beijo pro Mikai também, se ele estiver assistindo lá do outro lado.
Eu acho que esse final de semana foi diferente porque ninguém tinha noção do que ia acontecer, né? A gente treinou super pouco. Na prática, ninguém treinou com pneu em condição de corrida e tal. Então, acho que não era nem a cara fechada, era mais a dúvida de como a gente ia performar. Principalmente quando vem de um final de semana muito bom, você se cobra muito, né? E o nosso final de semana em Interlagos foi ótimo. Mas ontem a corrida foi super boa, não estava fácil de guiar o carro, né? A tração não tá das melhores aqui no Velocitta, mas tá igual para todo mundo. Então a gente conseguiu controlar, fazer uma corrida boa. E a sorte da inversão que a gente teve em Interlagos, a gente não teve agora, né? Sortearam 6, o Lucas, que disputa a categoria comigo, larga em segundo, eu fiquei para trás, estou em sétimo, mas a gente tenta correr atrás aí. O problema é que os caras que tem entre o Lucas e eu é o Marçal, o Nicolas, o Werner, o Paludo. Vamos fazer o que der para fazer, mas estou super animado, o começo do ano não podia ser melhor.
A condição de pista hoje está bem melhor, né?
Eu acho assim, tá muito quente, né? Então, da metade da corrida para frente, principalmente andando no bolo aí do pessoal que é super rápido, que tem que ficar se preocupando em defender e ao mesmo tempo em tentar atacar, a gente vai ter que controlar bem a condição dos pneus, porque vai fazer muita diferença do meio para o fim da prova.
Valeu, Gil. Boa prova para você, para a equipe aí, para o time inteiro. Um abraço, Mikai, se você estiver nos assistindo.
Beijo, Mikai. Te amo, irmão. Tamo junto.
É isso aí. Luque.
Yeah, we heard there from Georgios Frangoulis, leader of the sport class of the Carrera Cup Championship. He was talking about how challenging this weekend has been because due to the rain that we talked about, they barely practiced Friday. So actually, they didn't train with the car with this track condition. Thinking about the race, they had to go to the quali, and even in the quali, we had a bit of rain in the beginning of the session. Then race yesterday with a full dry situation in the track, and now even hotter this Sunday. But anyway, Jorge Sorangoulis was talking also about the starting position. He will start from seventh, and his main title rival in the sport class of the Carrera Cup Championship is Lucas Salles, that will start second. So it's a challenge for Jorge Sorangoulis to catch up there. And of course, there are a lot of drivers from the main Carrera Cup class between himself and Lucas Salles. So guys such as Marcel Miller, for example, Nicolas Costa, they will be a pain in the neck for Georgios Frangoulis. But anyway, the expectation for the race is good for Georgios as well.
Yes, we are ready for the Brazilian national anthem. Yeah, apparently they don't have the anthem, Carlos. But anyway, let's wait. These are the ceremonies before the race. While we wait there, there will be 26 cars going to the track, so it's not the anthem yet. At least we can't hear it. And as you said, Carlos, Jorge Frangoulis leads the Carrera Sport class. And now let's go to the Brazilian anthem. There we have the Brazilian national anthem. So all the ceremonies before the race are over. Now it's time to think about racing at Velocitta, race 2 for Carrera Cup first, and then race 2 for Sprint Challenge. This will be the fourth race for each category in this 2023 Porsche Cup C6 Bank Mastercard Championship. So we're expecting, as we mentioned before, there is an inversion of the grid. So this is determined by draw between the 5th and the 8th place of race 1. The draw decided that 6th place will start first. And number 1 of Alceu Feldman will start in the pole position alongside Lucas Salles. So this will be a very interesting start of the race. Second row, we will have Miguel Paludo who will start alongside number Miguel Paludo will start alongside Nicolas Costa. So Nicolas Costa was third yesterday. He will start fourth this race today. Miguel Paludo was fourth, will start third. And then yesterday's winner, Marcel Miller, will start sixth alongside Werner Neugebauer in fifth, who got the second place. So that will be very interesting start, Carlos, and we are looking forward to it. Let's wait and see what happens. Usually, these beginnings of races in Velocitta are very, very interesting, like we saw yesterday when Marcel Miller got the first position right at the start.
Yeah, indeed. It's a very important moment because we are talking, about a very technical circuit that isn't so easy to overtake.
Só pra avisar, vai ter que ser muito
We
rápido
don't have
aqui,
that
tá?
much of overtaking, that many overtaking
Vou pegar uma
spots in
palavra
this
dele
circuit.
só.
So the race start is very important. And when we look to the grid with Alceu Feldman as a pole sitter right ahead of Lucas Salles, then Miguel Paludo, Costa, Werner Neugebauer, and Marcel Miller in the first three rows, we can expect interesting things. I would say that Miguel Paludo, for example, is in a very interesting position because he has the inside line right behind Alceu Feldman. He can try to do something similar to what Marcel Miller actually done yesterday, going to the inside line and then profiting from the battle of the pole sitter and the second in the grid, that in this case is Alceu Feldman and Lucas Salles, both of them. And then the guys right behind, they will try to jump anyway. Nicolas Costa, Werner Neugebauer, Marcel Miller, because they have to do so in order to grab more points in the second round, the second race of this Velocitta round. Because if they leave this overtaking maneuvers for the middle of the race, then the situation will be a little bit difficult. And as Georgios Frangoulis highlighted, the tire degradation will be an issue today with a hotter temperature. So from the middle of the race on, the tire situation may be a very important factor thinking about the final stages of the race.
Yeah, and it will be very interesting the positions from 7th to 11th, because we have all drivers from the sports class: Jorge Frangoulis, Lineu Pires, Francisco Horta, Nelson Monteiro, and Raijan Mascarello. There we have again images from Velocitta. We are about to start the second race of this weekend. I'm Sergio Lago. I'm here with Carlos Costa. There you can see some images from before, the public getting contact with the drivers. This is part of all the ambience at Porsche Cup Brazil, where the public always goes inside. You can meet the drivers. And here you see the circuit, 3,438 meters, and the race will be 25 minutes plus one lap. Temperature is 26 degrees Celsius, 40 degrees Celsius on the track, and a wind of 16 kilometers per hour. This is an aerial view of this beautiful circuit. Many turns, 12 turns, it goes up, down, and it's very challenging for the drivers who already got the 5-minute mark to start this race, Carlos.
Yeah, that's it. And we see that the track temperature is
Boa tarde,
a
Luque
bit
Monteiro,
hotter
Thiago
than
Mendonça. Estou
we
aqui na
had yesterday
primeira
for race
posição
one
do
last
grid de
year from
largada com
Renata
Alceu
Wismore.
Feldman, que na inversão vai largar aqui na pole. Alceu, como tá a cabeça? Uma palavra antes dessa largada.
Vamos ganhar mais uma aí pro meu pai, meu pé quente, e para toda a minha família. Vamos nessa.
Obrigada, Alceu. Boa corrida para você. Luque.
Yeah, quick but strong interview there with pole sitter Alceu Feldman due to the draw that Sergio explained. But anyway, very experienced driver in this series from the main Carrera Cup class, and he says that we'll try and get this victory for his father once more. And he's confident that he can do so, starting ahead of Lucas Salles. Then we have the rest of the pack right behind with Miguel Paludo, Nicolas Costa, Werner Neugbauer, Marcel Miller, and then the rest of the drivers, as you said, from P7 to 11th, a lot of drivers from the sport class division.
Yes, we see the public there. There is this nice hill that you can see the last part of the circuit. It's a very nice spot to watch the race. And this is the championship leader, Nicolas Costa. He started on pole yesterday. He ended up finishing in third, and he leads the championship with 71 points, 5 points ahead of Miguel Paludo, who didn't win a race yet this year, but he had some good results, Miguel Paludo. He was third and second in Interlagos, and yesterday he finished fourth. He's starting third today alongside Nicolas Costa. So far, the battle for the championship is between them, but Alceu Feldman is not far behind. This is Marcel Miller, who won the race yesterday. His best lap was 1:29.686. But I was talking about Alceu Feldman. He won the second race in Interlagos, and this will be a great opportunity for him, Carlos, for maybe get his second victory, be the only one driver this year to get 2 victories so far if he wins this race today.
Yeah, definitely. That's his expectation. He had a very interesting second race at Interlagos in the first round, season opener in the São Paulo city, but now it's a completely different track. Velocitta is a little bit more technical, even though Interlagos is challenging as well. But anyway, in terms of overtaking points, it's a bit hard in this Mogi Guaçu circuit, but of course that's good for him, because if he's able to stay ahead of the pack right after the race start, then it will be too challenging for the drivers such as Lucas Salles, Paludo, Costa, Neugbauer, and Miller to attack. But anyway, we have to wait and see. And also thinking about the race pace and the tire degradation, especially in the final stages of the Sunday's races, because we have a track temperature that is even hotter than what we had in the first race yesterday for both Carrera Cup and Sprint Challenge.
Exactly. One thing we didn't mention yet, Carlos, is that the drivers, since the race yesterday, they are using a extra weight. Some drivers are using some extra weight due to the balance of performance. But let's see the grid. Alceu Feldman and Lucas Salles, then Miguel Paludo and Nicolas Costa on the second row, Werner Neugbauer and Marcel Miller in the third row, then Jorge Frangulis and Lineu Pires, 7th and 8th. Behind them, we have Francisco Horta and Nelson Monteiro, then Raijan Mascarello and Rodrigo Melo. After these two drivers, we'll have Roman Zinkiewicz and Gustavo Farah. In the 8th row, we have João Barbosa and Franco Giafone. Giafone didn't have a good season so far. Eduardo Menossi and Fontanari behind them. Then we'll have Peter Ferter and Edu Guedes, Nasser Abutaif and Piero Cifali, all rookie from the rookie class. Damon Darwich had problems in the first race on Saturday, and Paulo Souza. And at the last row, we have Bruno Campos and Nelson Marcondes. Nelson Marcondes, who will start dead last in the 26th position.
Yeah, Marcondes, Campos, and Souza, they were involved in an incident yesterday, so it was a tricky race for them. And some guys, they had penalties actually after yesterday races, such as Peter Ferter, for example, also Franco Giafone and Edu Guedes. So they lost a bit of ground there in terms of grid position for the Sunday races. But anyway, they have the conditions to try and get a little bit higher in this final result this Sunday. But anyway, it will be interesting to see, because it's a different scenario from what we had yesterday due to the grid inversion ahead of the pack at least. So we can expect a more dynamic race, I would say, Sergio.
Yes, they are all ready to start. The safety Porsche already got ahead. We have on the right side, we will have driver Alceu Feldman. On the left side, it's Lucas Salles. Then on the second row, on the inside line, we'll have Miguel Paludo. On the outside line, we have Nicolas Costa. Red lights are on. When they turn off, it's green, green, green. Let's start the race. Let's start the race. Alceu Feldman. Miguel Paludo tries to get a position there, but he is not able. Lucas Salles gets ahead, but he goes wide. Lucas Salles gets ahead but goes wide. He keeps the first position. Alceu Feldman is right behind him. Miguel Paludo is in third. It's a close third and almost goes outside there. The car for Nicolas Costa. Very aggressive in this beginning, Nicolas Costa, but he lost a few positions there. He starts fourth and he's in sixth right now with Miguel Paludo in third, trying to pressure Alceu Feldman. They had a great battle at the end of the race in Interlagos and an incredible start for Lucas Salles, Carlos, because he's in first right now. Great work by him, and we see the attack there of Werner Neugebauer attacking Miguel Paludo for the third position. Very nice battle there. Very nice work by Werner Neugebauer, and on the outside goes Miguel Paludo, and he is side by side. This is great battle for second position, and Lucas Costa is taking all the advantage. He's from the sports class and he's in first, and now it seems that things settled a little bit more, Carlos. What a start of the race, what a battle, and what a start by Lucas Salles. I think Alceu Feldman was worried about holding Miguel Paludo right there, and he gave space for Lucas Salles, who overtook the leader from the outside.
Yeah, very nice restart from Lucas Salles. As you said, overtaking from the outside. He took advantage from the fact that, as you said, Feldman was worried with Paludo. Actually, I think that Feldman thought a lot about yesterday's race start, because Paludo tried to do what Marcel Miller did yesterday, and that's why Alceu Feldman closed the door in the inside line there, but eventually he lost ground to Lucas Salles. And then this triple fight that we see now, Marcel Miller joining as well, between Feldman, Paludo and Neugebauer, it's very profitable, especially for Lucas Salles, because even though he's a driver from the sport class division, we all know that he has pace, and he's opening a bit of a gap there and extending his advantage ahead of the pack. But let's see if throughout the race, with the race pace and the long run, he will be able to stay ahead of the guys from the main Carreira class, as we see there an interesting fight between Nicolas Costa and Georgios Frangoulis as well. A very interesting race start so far, Sergio.
Yes, we have Marcel Miller also very aggressive in the Porsche number 544. You see him there. He tried to overtake Neugebauer in the Porsche number 8. He was not able. He gave chance for Nicolas Costa to attack him, but Nicolas Costa ended up losing a little bit of ground and is being attacked by Georgios Frangoulis. So these are all great battles in the beginning of the race. Right at the start of the race, we see there Nicolas Costa and Georgios Frangoulis, and right behind there we see great battles too. Number 77 is Francisco Horta, also trying to advance. He said before the race that he wants to advance in the race. That his goal. Of course, it's everybody's goal. And what a great start. What a great beginning of the race. And we should expect more. Now I want to see, Carlos, if Alceu Feldman will be able to get closer to Lucas Costa, because to Lucas Costa, because in theory, Lucas Salles, because in theory he has, let's say, he's more graduated, let's say, in theory, because Lucas Salles on Porsche number 70 is on the sports class, and Alceu Feldman is in the main Carreira Cup class.
Yeah, theoretically, we could expect a bit more in comparison with Lucas Salles from Alceu Feldman, due to the fact that, as you said, he theoretically is a little bit more graduated and more experienced in this series as well. But I have to highlight the fact that even from last year's championship, Lucas Salles is showing a lot of consistency and speed, and that's why he's frequently actually fighting with the guys from the main Carreira Cup class. So we are talking about, I would say, the main driver of the sport class, even though Giorgio Strangoulis has been in a very good form recently as well. But it seems that the situation is under control, even though little by little, Feldman, Paludo, and Neugbauer, they are actually getting closer and closer to Lucas Salles. But eventually, if Miguel Paludo is able to attack Feldman, then Lucas Salles can open a bit of a gap once more. But it seems now that the situation is better for Alceu Feldman, actually. And we have to wait and see. One guy that is losing a bit of ground is Marcel Miller. Werner Neugbauer is opening a bit of a gap there ahead of Marcel as we see the replay of race start.
Yeah, see how the gap got there. Giorgio Strangoulis got stuck a little bit, and now we see how Alceu Feldman protects his left side of the car from Miguel Paludo, and that gave the opportunity for Lucas Salles to get ahead of him. So we saw pole position yesterday and today losing their first position right at the start of the race, while you see Alceu Feldman already getting very close to Lucas Salles, or getting closer to Lucas Salles, with Paludo right behind him, and Werner Neugbauer, who set up the best lap of the race so far. And there goes Miguel Paludo on the inside, trying to get second position. Miguel Paludo is second at Velocitta after overtaking Alceu Feldman. Pole position, Alceu Feldman is now third, and he has a very aggressive Werner Neugbauer behind him. So Alceu Feldman is under attack, Carlos. And let's see now if Miguel Paludo can get close to the leader of the race, Lucas Salles, while you see again this incredible, nice maneuver by Miguel Paludo, Carlos.
Yeah, nice maneuver, as you said, close to the edge there, because he put his car in the inside line there and was able to control the final part of the corner there in order not to go wide and then allow Alceu Feldman to retake the position. But anyway, we are talking about one of the most experienced drivers in this grid, a 7-time champion of Porsche Brasil, Miguel Paludo. And it seems that he was actually studying his overtaking maneuver on Feldman, because he lost a bit of ground, but then right in the sequence he was able to overtake, and now we can expect him to overtake Lucas Salles as well.
Yeah, he's already right behind Lucas Salles. This is battle for first position. Miguel Paludo started third. Let's see what he can do at the end of the main straight. They are in the main straight. Let's see if he can get position there. But Lucas Salles seems to me have a good position there. It's not going to be this time that Paludo will get the position. Behind them, these two, we see a great battle for third position with Alceu Feldman, Werner Neugbauer, and Marcel Miller. Marcel Miller is right behind Werner Neugbauer. So Marcel Miller, who won the race yesterday, started sixth, and Nicolas Costa is a little bit behind. Because look at Miguel Paludo trying on the outside. Oh, problems for Piero Cifali. Piero Cifali, while you still see the battle for first position, we are seeing a very aggressive Miguel Paludo on the inside, and Miguel Paludo gets first position from Lucas Salles, who might lose second to Alceu Feldman. Not yet, but great race by Miguel Paludo, Carlos. He is first now, and he leads all the way with 16 and a half minutes to go, plus one lap. And Alceu Feldman right now is right behind Lucas Salles in the battle for second position.
Yeah, that's a very important moment for Miguel Paludo, because he has to open a good gap there and get a good advantage in order to manage his tires until the end of the race. So if Alceu loses time trying to overtake Salles, then theoretically Miguel Paludo has the condition actually to open a gap there, as we see the replay of the incident involving Piero Cifali and also Paulo Souza. I think it was the first corner there. I actually didn't see exactly what part of the track it was, but Paulo Souza also retired his car apparently, and no safety car intervention. That is the most important thing to see. But anyway, that's a shame for both Cifali and Paulo Souza. An eventful weekend for Paulo Souza, actually, that didn't finish yesterday's race as well. And I don't know if the students will take a look into that incident, because it seems that Piero Cifali was a bit aggressive there, even though Paulo Souza was in the inside line. But let's wait and see. And Werner Neugebauer trying to attack Alceu Feldman as well.
Yeah, Alceu Feldman and Werner Neugebauer getting over Lucas Salles. Now Alceu Feldman trying to defend himself from Werner Neugebauer. Alceu Feldman is second, Werner Neugebauer is third. Then we have Lucas Salles and Marçal Miller. This is good, Carlos, for Jorge Frangulis. Jorge Frangulis, who battles with Lucas Salles for the championship in the sports class. And right now, Lucas Salles, who started in second, led the race. He is in fifth right now, right behind, just one position ahead of Frangulis. Actually, there is Lucas Salles, then there is Nicolas Costa, and then there is Jorge Frangulis. Actually, pardon me, there is Marçal Miller, there is Nicolas Costa, and then Jorge Frangulis. But anyway, this is good for Jorge Frangulis, Carlos.
Yeah, and we have to remember, as you said, due to the balance of performance regulations, the front runners in terms of championship standings, they have extra weight to their cars. So Nicolas Costa is possibly struggling also because of that, as we see that the charge there from Neugebauer on Feldman is getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah, one thing I want to ask you, Carlos, because with this balance of performance, for example, Nicolas Costa has 50 kilos extra in his car. Alceu Feldman, 45, Marçal Miller, 45, but Miguel Paludo has a little bit less than both. So this is very interesting, because he gets a little bit of an advantage there with less kilos on his car.
Yeah, and we are talking about a track that has ups and lows. They go up the hill in the prior actually to the last sector, and now they go down. So maybe in the entry there of the final sector, it has an interesting impact. In the main straight or something like that, I wouldn't say so. Also because they have the slipstream of the car right ahead and that kind of stuff. But in the final sector there, I believe that's an impact. It has an impact, this extra weight to the cars of the leaders.
We see there Jorge Frangulis, Lineu Pires is behind him. Jorge Frangulis is 7th, Lineu Pires is in 9th, and then we have Francisco Horta and Raijan Mascarello. Number 29 is Rodrigo Melo. He's trying to overtake Roman Zinkiewicz, and Rodrigo Melo gets the position. Rodrigo Melo didn't have a good day yesterday. So far, he's the last among the main Carrera Cup drivers, but he's trying to advance coming from behind. Rodrigo Melo, who started in the 12th position, and is trying to get better. Right now, he is in 13th, so he lost actually some positions at the start of the race, while you see Marçal Miller going for position against Lucas Salles, side by side, the cars touch, and Lucas Salles defends himself with Marçal Miller, very aggressive. He might get the position right here, and let's see, Marçal Miller gets the 4th position from Lucas Salles. Now Lucas Salles has Nicolas Costa behind him. Oh, Lucas Costa touches Lucas Salles. Lucas Salles gets behind. And then we see what a change there. Oh my, Franco Giafone, and then we have Jorge Frangulis. What a confusion there. The touch ended up being very bad, even for Nicolas Costa, Carlos. What a problem there.
Yeah, what a shame, especially for Lucas Salles. Of course, Costa lost a bit of ground there, 1 or 2 spots, but Lucas Salles' race is completely compromised now. The guy that led right after race start, overtaking more experienced drivers such as Alceu Feldman. He was able to stay ahead of the pack for a couple of laps there, and now losing ground. But now this incident happens, a slight touch there from Nicolas Costa, and then Lucas Salles couldn't avoid the spin. I would like to see this incident through different angles, because it may be the case for the stewards to take an action there, even though apparently Nicolas Costa didn't do anything intentionally, deliberately, but maybe we have a penalty for Nicolas, and it wasn't Lucas Salles' fault at all.
Yeah, I would say there were two touches there, Carlos. The first one was lighter, but then he got a little bit on the inside of Lucas Salles, and that was actually what caused the spin. Oh, we have yet another spin there. Let's see who it was with. Oh, what a pity. Francisco Horta. The touch was in Francisco Horta. And we see here Nelson Monteiro on the inside of Francisco Horta. But that I would put on Nelson Monteiro's, Carlos. Look at that. He was too aggressive there. He didn't have the space. And he ended up causing a little bit, lots of problems for Francisco Horta.
Yeah, it's a similar incident compared to Piero Cifali and Paulo Souza's incident, because the guys that were in the outside line, they were faster and they tried to hit the apex of the corner, but there was a car inside. In this specific incident, I see that Nelson Monteiro was a bit over-aggressive, even in the inside line, compared to what we saw from Paulo Souza and Piero Cifali. Actually, the steward said that he will investigate the incident between Souza and Cifali after the race. Let's see if they think the same about this incident that we saw between Nelson Monteiro and Francisco Horta, as Werner Neubauer increases his pressure on Alceu Feldman.
Yeah, it's total pressure, I would say, Werner Neubauer over Alceu Feldman. We are seeing Werner Neubauer going on the inside, on the outside, and Alceu Feldman has to be very strong psychologically to hold that pressure. That's battle for second position. Miguel Paludo is way ahead, over 5 seconds ahead of these two drivers, and Marcel Miller is a little bit behind. You see there the Porsche from Marcel Miller. He's still a little bit distant. He's around 3 seconds behind Werner Neubauer, and now Alceu Feldman was able to separate himself a little bit from Werner Neubauer. So he got a little bit of space, but I'm sure Werner Neubauer will still attack until the end of the race, Carlos.
Yeah, and we have a very good...
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that we are having a very good race because a little bit more than 7 minutes to go, of course, apart from the extra final lap, but a lot of things happening and we didn't barely see the time passing, Sergio.
Exactly. I was saying we have that battle with the touch. Nicolas Costa fell to 9th place, so it's not a good position for him. We see him in the 999. He's right behind number 800 of Raijan Mascarello, trying to get positions. And he's under Lineu Pires, which is 888. So Nicolas Costa is being able to recuperate some positions. He overtakes Lineu Pires, but Raijan Mascarello is still ahead of him. And behind them, we have Nelson Monteiro. Nelson Monteiro, their car number 87, Porsche number 87, and he gets the position from Lineu Pires. So not a good moment for Lineu Pires, who lost 2 or 3 positions there, pretty much in the same lap.
Yeah, and we have to praise Raijan Mascarello's performance prior to the race. He said that he's still adapting. Sprint Challenge champion last year, so new car for him in 2023. Already making progress and improvements in the sport class of the Carrera Cup Championship. As we see, Rodrigo Melo retired his card. I didn't see if he had a touch or something like that, but anyway, we remember that he had an issue yesterday, and Max Wilson, a driver consultant for Porsche Cup Brazil, checked his car prior to this Sunday's race. Max said it was okay, but maybe something that is related to the incident that Melo had yesterday.
Yeah, and he was not happy at all. We could see by his body language that he didn't like it. He didn't have a good race yesterday. He is a DNF today, so really a big problem for Rodrigo Melo, who races. He's one of the 6 drivers who compete in the main Carrera Cup. There we see a battle. Nicolas Costa is still trying to get, and Nicolas Costa is overtaken by Nelson Monteiro. Nicolas Costa has a problem, Carlos. Very slow Nicolas Costa, He loses many positions. He might lose with that the championship leadership because it's game over for him. End of the race for Nicolas Costa. Started the weekend at Velocitta with the leading the championship. He's very slow there, and now he will probably leave second or third after this race. And not a good moment for him. It was his first time racing at Velocitta, and even though he got third position yesterday, he will not finish today, Carlos.
Yeah, that's a shame. Clearly a problem with the car, and probably Miguel Paludo will be the new season leader if he confirms his victory today. Miguel Paludo is 5 points behind Nicolas Costa in the championship standings, if I'm not wrong, and of course he will bag a lot of points from this Velocitta race too. And that's it. Nicolas Costa confirming that the car is being retired. I don't know what happened there, because if it was an engine blow, for example, that is very rare actually in Porsche Brazil, then he would have had to stop immediately. It seems something maybe with transmission, gearbox, or anything like that.
Or maybe with that touch he had, I don't know, with Lucas Salles. It might be. I mean, something happened to his car. It might have affected the suspension or something, because we know these cars, it's very hard when they get touched. It's hard on the car. We see Alceu Feldman with the second place, Carlos. He's a driver that might get ahead of Nicolas Costa as well in the championship, because Alceu Feldman is third in the championship, 10 points behind Nicolas Costa, but Nicolas Costa is not going to score. So if the second place, Alceu Feldman will surely be ahead of Nicolas Costa in the championship, as well as Miguel Paludo, who with a win, I mean, assuming the final results are like that, Miguel Paludo with a win. And look at the difference between Miguel Paludo and second place, Alceu Feldman. Alceu Feldman was able to hold there Werner Neugebauer, and now he's in an easy moment, I would say, Carlos. Werner Neugebauer is behind him, but he's not attacking like he did in the first half of the race.
Yeah, definitely. Tire degradation is already an issue from some minutes, actually. Already 3 minutes to go plus 1 lap, so theoretically the tires, they aren't anymore in such an ideal situation. And if Werner Neugebauer increases his pace, he may make a mistake there or even lose ground to Marcel Miller that is right behind. So I think he has already established his position there, P3 right behind Alceu Feldman, and Miguel Paludo's race has been spectacular. He was able to do exactly what I said that would be important for him, that was to open a gap and manage the distance, considering Alceu Feldman or anyone that would be in the second spot. But anyway, he's whoa, is that Menossi or Dziękiewicz?
That's Dziękiewicz, yes.
Let's see the
see
replay.
what happened. Yeah, let's see. He tried there. Oh, look at that. That's it for him. No
suspension.
Way out. That's it.
Yeah, interesting, because he was in the inside line there trying to attack. I think he was too ambitious, to say the least. And of course, he tried to avoid contact. Actually, he was able to do so, but then he jumped on the curb there, that sausage curb that we have in the inside line of that corner, and then end of story for his suspension. Nothing he could do to prevent the suspension failure there, but a driving mistake, because he shouldn't have been so aggressive in that part of the corner in the inside line, because then he would crash into the other driver's car, or he would have to go to the grass in order to avoid contact. That's what he did, but then with the sausage curb, game over for Roman Dziękiewicz.
Yes, there he is, Roman Dziękiewicz leaving his car. I want to highlight before the end of the race, Carlos, we are with 1 minute to go plus 1 lap. Franco Giaffoni, who started in 16th, is in 5th, and he leads the sports class. So after abandoning both races in Interlagos, now he's getting a very good result. Franco Giaffoni who is always a contender in the sport class. So this is being a good race for him, and he has Giorgio Frangoulis behind him, but not that much behind him, but he's leading the pack in the sports class. And in the rookie class, we have Gustavo Farah leading the charge at 11th place overall.
Yeah, Gustavo Farah in a very good weekend, and Franco Giaffoni finally being a little bit luckier because he had a very poor round at Interlagos, as you said. And yesterday he had a penalty because of an incident with another car, and now a very good recovery race. We are talking about the reigning sport class champion of Porsche Carrera Cup. So in terms of performance, speed, competitiveness, we all know that Franco Giaffoni is a very capable driver, but now it seems that he's getting to grips with luck as well, with a clean actually race and a very good recovery race from Franco Giaffoni. And this train of cars is in a very interesting battle as well.
Lucas Salles is in the 13th position. This is a battle there between Raijan Mascarello and Nelson Monteiro. This is battle for 7th position. I mentioned Lucas Salles because he led the race, but he was touched by Nicolas Costa, and he ended up having a big loss. He's in the 13th position overall. Last lap at Velocitta, the incident between cars 80 and 800 after the race, and we have Miguel Paludo leading the way with an advantage of over 10 seconds over Alceu Feldman. It's incredible how Miguel Paludo, he's carrying 30 extra kilos. Alceu Feldman is carrying 50 extra kilos. So that, of course, makes a difference. But we cannot say enough about the talent of Miguel Paludo, who Carlos already mentioned is a 7-time champion in Porsche Cup. Brazil has a long story in the category. He lives in the United States. He dedicated himself a few years to NASCAR. He raced in the NASCAR Truck Series. He got very good results, and currently he is racing in 3 races this year in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. He already did 1 in the Circuit of the Americas. He'll do 2 more, one in the Chicago, in the Street Circuit of Chicago, and the other one in Indianapolis, in the road course of Indianapolis. There goes Miguel Paludo to get the checkered flag. Miguel Paludo will get his first win in 2023. Miguel Paludo wins the race at Velocitta. Well, we see the battle for the 2nd position, and Alceu Feldman keeps 2nd with Werner Neugebauer a close 3rd, and Marcel Miller finishes 4th with Franco Giaffoni almost getting to him in 5th, Carlos.
What a race, what a race. It wasn't so close compared to the Sprint Trophy race that we had earlier today, and even compared to yesterday's Carrera Cup race, also in the Sprint Challenge race that we had yesterday. It was a tight battle for a race win, but even though Miguel Paludo had a very big advantage, the whole race was very interesting. We saw moments ago Gustavo Farah also winning in the rookie class, but anyway, battle for P2 was very interesting. In the end, Alceu Feldman was able to finish ahead of Werner Neugebauer. That particular fight was interesting as well. Then right behind these 3 cars, the 3 front runners, we had a lot of things happening. That incident between Nicolas Costa and Lucas Salles, Franco Giaffoni with a very recovery race, as we have been talking about. Also, Giorgio Frangoulis in a consistent drive there in order to bag important points and I believe stay ahead of the competitors in the sport class. Throughout the whole pack, it was an interesting race with some incidents that crashed between Piero Cifali and Paulo Souza, also Nelson Monteiro and another driver there. I forgot who it was, but also that incident with Roman Ginkiewicz that had the suspension failure. A lot of incidents, but nice race, and we have to praise Miguel Paludo because what he did was very impressive in order to stay ahead of the pack with such a big advantage.
Yes, and we had Franco Giaffoni as the winner for the sport class, and Gustavo Farah winner for the rookie class. So Gustavo Farah, who is trying to get closer to João Barbosa and Edu Guedes. He started this race as third in the championship and in the rookie class championship, and he got way ahead of João Barbosa and of Edu Guedes. So he might have a chance here to get the leadership of the championship. No, he got 1 position ahead of Edu Guedes and 3 positions ahead of João Barbosa. So he's probably staying second after this race, but a good race indeed for Gustavo Farah.
Yeah, definitely. And Gustavo Farah is one of the guys that are improving a lot from the recent races, coming from last year already. He arrived in the series as a completely newcomer, but already showing signs of improvement and developing himself as a driver. And just to complete the information, the other car involved in an incident was number 77 from Francisco Horta. But anyway, now it's time to praise Paludo. Also, Gustavo Farah, apart from Franco Giaffoni, the class winners, and the guys ahead of the pack that didn't manage to win, but they had a good race as well. Also, Feldman, Werner Neubauer. Marcel Miller was shy today, I would say, but P4 that is very important for him in terms of championship points, and that's a similar situation for Jorge Frangulis, Rajan Mascarello, and these kinds of drivers.
That was Franco Giaffoni, and this is Gustavo Farah. So we saw Miguel Paludo, Franco Giaffoni, and Gustavo Farah. The 3 winners in this race. We will have more. We'll have the race for Sprint Challenge after that.
Luque,
And
vamos
let's
falar com
listen
ele.
to
Parabéns,
Renata.
Miguel Paludo, mais uma sua. Surpreendente no começo da corrida, ultrapassagem, e conseguiu manter até o final. Comenta pra gente essa vitória.
Pô, uma prova muito intensa, procurei ser cauteloso na largada, sabia que vários movimentos iam acontecer, deu certo e ataquei na hora certa. Hoje deu tudo como planejado e saí daqui com uma vitória, com uma abrimos, não sei se abrimos a liderança no campeonato não, mas isso não importa agora. O importante é que o Rick pediu para ganhar a corrida, para causar uma festa, tá aí.
E para chegar no recorde de vitória, sabia?
Hoje também não sabia. Legal. Acho que a conquista de todo o trabalho sumarizado aqui nesse final de semana.
Parabéns, Miguel. Vai lá. Luque.
Yeah, nice information there from our pit reporter, Renata Diniz, record-winning driver, Miguel Paludo. He's a guy with most wins in the series, and of course he was talking about the race, how intense it was for him. He tried to be cautious in the race start, and he managed to do so, and then he was able to attack in the right moment in order to lead the race and then open a gap to comfortably cross the checkered flag and the line there ahead of the pack. Also dedicating the triumph for his sponsor Rick Brandt, that said that he should win in order to have a party right after this Sunday's race. But anyway, very nice to see Miguel Paludo winning once again, and that's something that we could expect, him being the record breaker in terms of race win, because he's racing in this series for a while, and as we have been talking about, a 7-time champion of the series, considering overall championships, Carrera Cup championships, endurance championships as well. So he's a guy that knows this series very well and a very accomplished driver, also in the US, as you said. So the victory is in good hands, Sergio.
Yeah, as you see there, 4th place, getting the trophy, Marcel Miller. Then 3rd place is Werner Neubauer, also raising his trophy. Then we have Alceu Feldman. Alceu Feldman finished 1st in the 2nd race in Interlagos. Now he gets a 2nd place. Great for him. And Miguel Paludo getting his 1st victory this year, a new record for the category most wins. So it's incredible the work that's been done by Miguel Paludo, and I'm sure it's not going to be the last one, Carlos. So Miguel Paludo is definitely in the battle for maybe his 8th championship this year. It was not a good race for Nicolas Costa, who started as the championship leader, but lost positions, didn't have a good start, and that's the moment, a very decisive moment, I would say, Carlos, when Miguel Paludo overtook Alceu Feldman, because after that, in a way, it was easier to overtake Lucas Salles, because Lucas Salles is from the sport class. So in theory, Miguel Paludo is a better driver than Lucas Salles. He's a faster driver than Lucas Salles, let's put it this way. But with Alceu Feldman, they are both in the main Carrera Cup. So that was, for me, very decisive, Carlos, because we saw them, Werner Neugebauer, who was a long time behind, Alceu Feldman, he was not able to overtake. So for Paludo, that was very important.
Yeah, I agree. And we have to remember that in such a hot track temperature, tire degradation is an issue. So Miguel Paludo was able to overtake straight away. And doing so before overtaking race leader, then that was Lucas Salles, was also important because let's think that possibly Salles would have been overtaken firstly by Feldman and then by Paludo. Then we would have Feldman leading, Paludo behind, and theoretically they would lose more time battling between themselves, and then we could have had bigger tire degradation there for Miguel Paludo, for example. So it was very important to do so in that moment, that's overtaking maneuver. And then when Feldman was overtaking Salles, Paludo was already able to open a big gap there, so it was strategically a perfect moment for him to overtake.
We saw there number three of the driver of Franco Giaffoni. There he is, getting the victory for the sports class. Great victory by him, and going back to the podium after a while, at the top of the podium, of course. He didn't have a good start this year. He had problems in Interlagos, but now he was able to finish first in the sport class. So great work by him.
Yeah, definitely. Nice podium, actually, in the whole sport class. Franco Giaffoni ahead of the pack, and then Georgios Frangoulis, Raijan Mascarello, and Nelson Monteiro. Finally, Ricardo Fontanari as the top five finalists in this podium, as we see now the celebrations of the rookie class.
Yeah, Gustavo Farah was the winner. Fourth place that holds the trophy was João Barbosa. Nasser Abul Taif got fifth. Third place was Bruno Campos. Second place, Edu Guedes. He's Edu Guedes. Nice race by him, by Edu Guedes. And then we had Gustavo Farah. That is Gustavo Farah. Number one, he says he'll probably get one position more in the championship. So great work by him. And right after this, we'll have the Sprint Challenge race. The cars are probably getting ready or are already on the track, as it always happens, Carlos. While we see the podium for the Carrera Cup, it's time when the cars from the Sprint Challenge are preparing. So they don't have that. There they are. Oh no, this is still Gustavo Farah. This is the detail for Gustavo Farah. But while we see the podiums and all these images, the cars from Sprint Challenge get prepared to go to the track. And there we see Antonio Junqueiro starting the pole position for the Sprint Challenge. Gustavo Zanon alongside him. Christian Moore and Urubatan Jr. in the second row. Then we have third row Antonella Bassani and Marcelo Tomassoni. Carlos Campos and Artur Ramos behind them. Then we will have Teba Malucelli and Miguel Mariotti on the fifth row. Sadak Leite and Israel Salmen on the sixth row. Behind them, we have Eric Santos and Gabriel Vallone. After, we'll start the race Luis Souza and Américo Lanzoni. And then let's see. After Josimar Jr. and Sang Joaquim. Josimar Jr., who was one of the guys involved in accidents yesterday, and Celo Brasil and Walter Lester finishing the grid in 19th and 20th, Carlos.
Yeah, interesting situation, especially thinking about the reverse top six there with Junqueira just ahead of Gustavo Zanon, both drivers of the sport class. An interesting start of season for both of them, especially Junqueira because of the Interlagos results. Zanon struggled a bit at Interlagos, but already back to grips in this second round at Velocitta. And then we have the the regulars of the Sprint Challenge Championship, if you can say so, such as Urubatan Jr. and Christian Moore, apart from Marcelo Tomazzoni. But Tomazzoni right behind Antonella Bassani once more in the grid. Antonella was the pole sitter yesterday, but Marcelo Tomazzoni was able to overtake her in order to win the race. Now we will have one more battle between the two of them. Then we have the rest of the pack. It's always a very dynamic race in the Sprint Challenge Championship, and I would say that we can expect a race start that will be crazier in a good manner compared to what we had in the Carrera Cup race earlier today, Sergio.
Yes. Cars are ready for the start of the race. Antonio Junqueira will be on your right side. On your left side will be Gustavo Zanon. Behind Junqueira, we will have Christian Moore, very aggressive. Driver Rubatan Jr. will be on your left side behind Gustavo Zanon. And in the third row, we will have Antonella Bassani and Marcelo Tomassoni. Red lights are on. When they turn off, starts the race. And green, green, green. And look at Christian Moore, very aggressive on the inside of Antonio Junqueira. He has position. Antonio Junqueira will have to battle Antonella Bassani. He is right there, and Gustavo Zanon as well. Antonella Bassani goes to third. Let's confirm, but apparently Antonella Bassani goes to third from fifth. Great work by her. Christian Moore leads the race. Yes, it's her, Antonella Bassani. Great work. Antonio Junqueira stays in the second position after starting in the pole, and Antonella Bassani is in third position. Clean start. Gustavo Zanon is in fourth. Then we have Urubatan Jr. and Marcelo Tomassoni lost a couple of positions, Carlos, and now he's battling with Seba Malucelli for position there to recuperate. And it goes behind. So I think Marcelo Tomassoni is having some problems there. He seems a little bit slow for me, Carlos. Let's wait and see. He's way behind there. It's that gray car with the yellow marks. Is this car that passed there, Carlos?
Yeah, anyway, a very poor start there from Marcelo Tomazzoni. He lost a lot of ground compared to the front runners. I have to say that it was a crazy race start in terms of drivers respecting the start line there. And they were attacking even before the lights were out. So maybe this start will be investigated by the stewards. But anyway, we have to highlight and praise Antonella Bassani's job. Also, Christian Moore managing to lead right after starting from P4, now opening a bit of a gap. Antonio Junqueira with a clean start, and Zanon also lost a bit of ground. That's the same for Urubatan Jr. We have to highlight also Carlos Campos, that was able to have a good start, and Malucelli and Artur Ramos ahead of Marcelo Tomazzoni. Let's see if Tomazzoni indeed has a problem or if he's able to rebound there.
Yes, it was not normal, let's say. Something happened there. It might have been something temporary for sure, so let's wait and see what happened to Marcelo Tomassoni. And I agree with you, it was totally crazy, Carlos. The red lights were on and everybody was there and everybody very aggressive, but it was a nice start for us. It was, a very interesting start with Christian Moore getting the front position from Antonio Junqueira, and also a very nice start by Antonella Bassani, who had the onboard from her. And this is the Antonio Junqueira. This is the onboard from the pole position that he was overtaking on his left side.
Yeah, it was a very nice start
by Antonella Bassani. Go ahead, Carlos.
No, I just was about to agree with you, because it was a crazier start as I expected compared to Carrera Cup, and in terms of entertainment, it provided us a lot of good things. And now Bassani on the charge there. That's something that we could expect, even though she's a very young driver and is starting to know and to adapt herself to these Porsche cars. We all know how talented Antonella is, and that's why she has been two-time finalist of the FIA Girls on Track program. So speed she has, and we saw that already yesterday. with her pole position and P2 in the race won. But Junqueira is an experienced driver as well. But this whole situation is good for this guy that we see on the screen, Christian Moore, that is leading and extending his advantage, opening a bit of a gap there with the last, actually the fastest lap time in the last attempt. And now one more overtaking maneuver there.
Urubatan Jr. gets the position from Gustavo Zanon. Great work by Urubatan Jr. Now he goes to 4th place and Zanon falls to 5th place, of course. He has Seba Malucelli behind him, is number 100. Porsche 100 is a little bit not close to him, but it's not that far also. So it will be very interesting that we might see a battle between Gustavo Zanon and Seba Malucelli. But this driver here of Porsche number 72, Antonio Junqueira, he leads the sports class. He's second overall, he leads the sports class. And so far, Carlos, he's been able to hold Antonella Bassani. Nice work by Antonio Junqueira.
Yeah, Antonio Junqueira also starting his trajectory in this series, making a full-time season in the Sprint Championship with a good form, as we see now Marcelo Tomazoni overtaking Carlos Campos there. Let's see if Campos will rebound. Nice fight there between them, Sergio.
Yeah, it's battle for 8th position. Oh, the two cars touch, and Carlos Campos loses finally the position. But anyway, that was battle for 8th. So Marcelo Tomazoni, who has many cars ahead of him, if he wants to improve his position, although he has lots of time as well, Carlos. He has still 20 minutes plus 1 lap, as we see the two cars trading paint there.
Yeah, a damage limitation race for Marcelo Tomazoni, but he cannot damage his car. This battle with these touches was a bit dangerous, actually, for both Tomazoni and Campos. It seems Tomazoni is already reestablishing his standard form, but anyway, he has a lot of ground ahead of him in terms of overtaking drivers between himself and front runners such as Christian Moore, even Antonio Junqueira and Antonella Bassani. But anyway, he's closing the gap there, and a good recovery race after that poor start from Marcelo Tomazoni. But I was talking about Antonio Junqueira, and now we see Israel Salman apparently returning his car. But Antonio Junqueira had a very good first round at Interlagos, so he adapted immediately, fast, straight away, and we see that once more as we see the replay of the incident with Israel Salman, Sergio.
Yeah, too bad. He was leading the rookie class. He was having a great race, but now that's it for him, as we see Christian Moore, who has... Oh, Antonella Bassani spins. Antonella Bassani spins. We see the yellow flag in that area, and she's losing lots of positions. What a loss for Antonella Bassani. He was running third. That helps also Marcelo Tomazoni, who is trying to come from behind and gives the third position to Urubatan Jr. What a loss for Antonella Bassani. I want to see what happened. Well, we see another battle there. That's number 71 of Sangokin getting over Célio Brasil. Sangokin, who is from the sports class. Célio Brasil is from the rookie class.
Yeah, and the pit crew there is trying to fix something in Israel Salman's car. Célio Brasil still ahead of Sangokin. A nice battle there between the Brazilian and the South Korean. And we have to wait to see the replay of that incident with Antonella Bassani. I confess that I didn't see any touch there, but we saw the final part of the incident live. Maybe with a replay there, we can check what happened. Let's see if that's the case.
Now we see Christian Moore there. Then Antonio Junqueira.
Same image. We cannot see the origin of the incident. Let's see the onboard camera.
The fixture was touched by Urubatan Jr.
Yeah,
that would be the possibility, because I mean, if not, it was by herself, but she might have had a touch from Urubatan Jr.
Seeing the onboard camera, it seems that there was a touch, and if there was a touch, it was Urubatán Jr. So let's wait and see. But anyway, that angle of the replay isn't the best one, and the onboard camera may give us the wrong impression. But I would bet that that's the case. Urubatán Jr. Touched Antonella Bassani, and anyway, Urubatán and Christian Moore, they both have to pay a drive-through penalty because they jump-started. So race leader and third right now, they will have a drive-through penalty. That's good for Junqueira, Malucelli, Zanon, Ramos, Tomazoni, and the guys behind. That's a pretty harsh penalty, but we talked about that actually right after restart, Sergio. It was a crazy restart, and the stewards found that they jump-started there.
Yeah, that's a crazy turn of events, definitely, because we have Antônio Junqueira. Antônio Junqueira, who in the first race in Interlagos finished 4th and 6th. Now he might get his first victory of the season. He was 6th yesterday as well. So if he gets first, even if he gets second, it will be his best result of the season. So Christian Moore, Antônio Junqueira, Urubatán Jr., that will be good. And if with the drive-through, Carlos, we might see 4 drivers from the sports class in the first 4 positions. 4 drivers. So Antônio Junqueira, Seba Malucelli, Gustavo Zanon, and Arthur Ramos.
Yeah, and that's very good for Marcelo Tomazoni, because theoretically these 4 drivers throughout the whole championship, they tend not to be ahead of Tomazoni, and he gains ground on his main sprint challenge class rivals such as Christian Moore, that is definitely one of the title contenders, and Urubatán Jr., for example. That's also a shame for Antonella Bassani after that incident. Let's see if there's another penalty for Urubatán Jr., because if the stewards find that he's guilty for what happened with Antonella, then probably he will have some time added to his race time. But anyway, we'll have to wait and see, and that's a very profitable situation for Tomazoni that may even overtake some of the drivers ahead, such as Arthur Ramos, for example. But let's see when Christian Moore and Urubatán Jr., they will pay the drive-through penalty.
Yeah, it's already 14 minutes to go. Race is 25 minutes plus 1 lap. We see there Christian Moore, he'll have to pay the penalty. Antônio Junqueira is second. He will get the lead. Urubatán Jr. is third. Will have to pay the penalty as well. Then we have Sebala Malucelli, Gustavo Zanon, and Marcelo Tomassoni. So Marcelo Tomassoni already overtook Arthur Ramos. So what seemed to be a very bad race for Marcelo Tomassoni is turned to be a very good race for him, or at least he's being able to control the loss with the penalty for his 2 adversaries. But anyway, that's what might have put them ahead. So we cannot say anything. And this is Arthur Ramos defending himself from Miguel Mariotti. Arthur Ramos in the orange Porsche, in the green Porsche behind him, we have Miguel Mariotti. And then behind them, we have Josemar Jr. So this is battle for the 7th position.
Yeah, Miguel Mariotti that had a penalty after yesterday's race, and now goes Christian Moore to pay the drive-through penalty. And
as well
also
as Urubatán Jr. Yeah, also Urubatán Jr. So a big loss for them, definitely. They will lose many positions, and at this point, the driver Marcelo Tomassoni leads the Carrera Cup main drivers. He's not first in the race, but he is the best among the Carrera Cup drivers. So this is excellent for him, who won the race yesterday, and is the leader of the championship. Actually, he might become the leader of the championship. No, he's the leader of the championship. Yesterday he surpassed Christian Moore, and now he leads the championship. So a very bad problem for Christian Moore. Carlos end up paying really heavy price for jumping the start.
Yeah, and we saw there another communication from the stewards. They said that they will investigate the incident between Urubatán Jr. and Antonella Bassani after the end of the race. It makes sense because actually Urubatán has already been penalized and will lose a lot of ground because of the drive-through penalty, and Antonella Bassani, well, her race is already compromised. So they will investigate with time after the races. We see Marcelo Tomazoni overtaking Gustavo Zanon.
That's for third position. So Marcelo Tomassoni now is third. Gustavo Zanon is fourth. Gustavo Zanon now is third in the sports class. And Marcelo Tomassoni, who knows, Carlos, he has now only Seba Malucelli and Antonio Junqueira separating him from the victory. The difference is not a small difference, but he's very fast right now. So there might be a chance for Marcelo Tomassoni. I will see again when he overtook Gustavo Zanon.
Yeah, and thinking about the championship, it would be important for Tomazzoni to climb the pack there and even overtake Malucelli, if possible, Junqueira as well, because the points are awarded considering their general racing result, the finish result that he has. So Tomazzoni will now be awarded less points than he should, considering that his pace, in theory, is superior to Junqueira's and Malucelli's, but anyway, he has to overtake them on track and extend his points lead, considering his title rivals Christian Moore, even Miguel Mariotti and Josimar Jr. that are in the sequence of the mainstream challenge drivers there, but I wouldn't say that they will fight for the title, and I would bet on Christian Moore especially, so that's an important situation there for Marcelo Tomazzoni. If possible, he has to overtake the guys ahead, but of course he cannot make another mistake or anything like that, and has to think about the points and guaranteeing the points. Let's see if Christian Moore will be able to recuperate some spots there, because of course the drive-through penalty was very heavy, as we see another incident involving Célio Brasil there, and I cannot see which car is the other one.
Yeah,
Sadak.
That's Sadak Late, exactly.
Interesting and weird incident actually, because they touched each other side by side, and then Sadak Late spun.
And that's it for Célio Brasil.
It seems suspension failure.
And Sadak Leite as well. Sadak Leite remains on the track.
But he's slow. Maybe he will retire the car as well.
Yeah, we see there Seba Malucelli, number 100. He is first. He's second. Pardon me, this is the first place. This is Antonio Junqueira. Then we have Seba Malucelli in second place. But it's not this car. Seba Malucelli is behind, and Seba Malucelli is 1 second, 0.7.
The green car there is a back marker, actually.
The back marker, exactly. I believe this is... What was that? That's... Antonella Bassani, Carlos, is in 13th, but Christian Moore and Rubatan Jr. are in 9th and 10th. But I'm not sure. They might have time yet to improve positions, like you said. Let's see if they are able to do that. But definitely, unless there is an incident, they are not going to get to Marcelo Tomassoni. They are way, way behind Marcelo Tomassoni.
Yeah, but Tomazzoni isn't that far from Malucelli, for example. If traffic helps him, he may get closer to Malucelli. Actually, less than 1 second.
Yeah, he's getting close, so, and I would say you have definitely the chance to get over the second place. Let's see if he's able to. And we still see this nice battle. Artur Ramos, who is from the sport class, is holding position, is holding his 5th position against Miguel Mariotti and Josimar Jr., who are of the main sprint challenge category. So that's a very good work that's being done by number 15, Artur Ramos. And there we see Tomassoni. He's not on, I think he's a little bit more over 1 second. Carlos.
Yeah, I would say that, I was going to say that actually, and maybe when we saw that he was 1 second behind, he probably was benefiting from the back marker that was in Malucelli's way. And now one more drive-through penalty for Rubatan Jr. because of the incident with Antonella Bassani, Sergio.
And now that's it for him. I mean, He's in 10th right now. He's not going to get a good position. 2 penalties for Urubatán Jr. That's not a race we want to remember. He finished third in Interlagos. He left second in the championship, but now he'll definitely lose positions in this battle for the championship. Even though it's 6 rounds, we're still in the second round, and drivers, they discard 2 of their results. So there is still lots of opportunities for Urubatán Jr. to improve his situation in the championship. And we still see there the battle, Artur Ramos and Miguel Mariotti. This time, Miguel Mariotti gets the position from Artur Ramos. So Miguel Mariotti now is in 5th. Artur Ramos falls to 6th, and he'll be pressured by Josimar Jr., who is right behind him. We still have 5 plus 5 minutes to go. It's a lot of time for Josimar Jr. to attack Artur Ramos.
Yeah, that battled. How many laps? 4 laps between themselves, battling there for the 5th spot, I believe. And now Josimar Jr. also arriving in that 3-car battle, and that also allows the cars behind to catch up. We are talking about Carlos Campos and Christian Moore, but I believe Christian is a bit behind. No, actually, he's already arriving, but let's see if he'll be able to attack. Because, yeah, there we see he's actually close to Carlos Campos. So maybe Christian Moore will be able to attack Carlos Campos there. We see the white car from Campos, and immediately behind Christian Moore, Urubatán Jr. is right behind Christian Moore, but he has to pay this drive-through penalty. So it will be interesting in these final moments of the race, because both Tomazoni and Moore, they will try to overtake the guys from the sport class in order to grab more points. But it seems Tomazoni isn't that close to Malucelli anymore.
Yeah, Tomazoni, I'd say, is very far with 4 minutes and a little bit more to go, plus 1 lap. Marcelo Tomazoni is in a comfortable 3rd place, but who knows? We never know in a race what's going to happen. But Christian Moore, he has a great chance really to overtake, I would say, at least Carlos Campos, because then ahead of Carlos Campos, we'll see Josimar Jr. Josimar Jr. will be harder to overtake, but it's not impossible. We already seen that Christian Moore is a very, very aggressive driver, and he'll try his best. While you see Antônio Junqueira leading the pack, and apparently Seba Malucelli is not that far from him. Seems to me, even though Antônio Junqueira was faster in the last lap, he's keeping that distance from Seba Malucelli, but he's going for his first victory in the category overall. So that's great work by Antônio Junqueira.
Yeah, definitely. A clean race, fast when he needs to be so, managing his advantage to Seba Malucelli there. And we have to praise the start of campaign of Antônio Junqueira in 2023, as we wait and see if Christian Moore will be able to overtake Carlos Campos there. Tomazoni, it seems that he has already established that 3rd spot for him. That is very good as well, because his title rivals, they are struggling way more right behind, and that's it. Christian Moore is closing the gap little by little, Sergio.
Yes, Antonella Bassani is now in 11th place, so great work by her, trying to recuperate. I mean, she's behind, but at least she might get a top 10 right now. She has the 10th position because Urubatán Jr., who was ahead of her, is doing his drive-through, his 2nd drive-through in this race. So Antonella Bassani now is in the 10th position, so at least she'll get a top 10 behind Christian Moore after being hit by Urubatán Jr. 2 minutes to go in this race. This is the 4th race of the 2023 season. This is the Porsche Cup C6 Bank MasterCard 2023 season. And we've seen great races this year so far. You can always follow us and follow this championship with us. And problems there. What happened to Artur Ramos? He was having a great race. He was in 6th place, and he loses positions. He lost there 3 positions, a problem for Artur Ramos. Let's see what happened.
He forgot to brake.
Yeah, he was already behind Josimar Jr. and he went all the way. Yeah, he totally tried something impossible there. And he lost 2 positions. He lost position to Carlos Campos and to Christian Moore because anyway, he was behind Josimar Jr. And look at Christian Moore. Christian Moore going after Carlos Campos. He gets the position. And Christian Moore, great work by Christian Moore, recuperating himself from the drive-through. And now he is in the 7th position.
And what an overtaking maneuver. They're going aggressively to the inside line of turn 1 in order to position his car ahead of Carlos Campos, and he didn't allow Campos to rebound because even though he braked a little bit after Campos, he was able to control his car and not go wide, which would allow Campos to attack. So very nice overtaking maneuver there. That's a shame for Artur Ramos, even though we have to celebrate the fact that he didn't have any impact on his car, because when he passes through that sausage curb there, it's a dangerous situation for the suspension, but it seems that it is all okay. One more penalty.
I can't believe that. I can't believe, Carlos. 20 seconds extra for Urubatán Jr. for being too fast in the pit lane. Can you believe that, Carlos? Can you believe that?
Yeah, it's actually funny because that's a succession of penalties for Urubatán Jr. The first drive-through because of the jump start, the second one because of the incident with Antonella Bassani, and now because he was speeding in the pit lane. Now 20 seconds added to his race time. It would be fun, actually, Sergio, if he got a third drive-through, but there's no time for that.
No, yeah. But anyway, I would say it's almost a record. 3 penalties in one 25-minute race. You know, it's a lot for a 25-minute race plus 1 lap. Actually, we are in the last lap, and this is the driver who should get the checkered flag. Antonio Junqueira is starting this year in the Sprint Challenge Brazil, and he's going to get his first victory. He finished second in the sports class yesterday. He finished 6th overall yesterday. He has a 4th and a 6th place in Interlagos in the first round of the championship. But now he is leading overall. He will be the overall winner of the Sprint Challenge category of Porsche Cup Brazil. Beautiful work by Antonio Junqueira. He has behind him Eba Malucelli, but that is it. Nobody will take this checkered flag from Antonio Junqueira, who is really happy inside his car. I'm sure about that. Going to the main straight, and he gets the checkered flag. Wins Antonio Junqueira. Second race in that Velocitta. Seba Malucelli finishes second. Then we have now crossing the line Marcelo Tomassoni, an excellent third for him. Gustavo Zanon was fourth. Miguel Maiotti, Josimar Jr. and Christian Moore in 7th, followed by Carlos Campos, Artur Ramos, and Antonella Bassani. Carlos, very, very eventful race, which end up with the victory of Antonio Junqueira, that wins overall and then wins in the sports class.
Yeah, and in the rookie class, we have Eric Santos winning. We have to praise his drive as well, and I would say that Antonio Junqueira definitely deserves this result, because even though he was a bit lucky in terms of grid position because of the draw, he had a very clean race today, so he was able to fend off some of the attacks he suffered. Obviously, he lost the lead spot there for Christian Moore, and actually Christian Moore got that drive-through penalty because of the jump start he made right in the beginning of the race, but that's part of racing. A driving mistake from Christian Moore. He paid his price, and even though he had the drive-through penalty, he was able to finish 7th, so a good damage limitation there from Christian Moore. A very profitable race for Marcelo Tomassoni in terms of championship standings. Also for Junqueira, considering the sport class. that he competes in, and Eric Santos in a very nice round at Velocitta this whole weekend. Had an interesting race yesterday. Once more, good performance from him in the rookie class, and the rookie class actually had the retirement of Sele Brasil's car. I believe that Sele was leading the class, but anyway, very nice race. A shame for Antonella Bassani, that was touched by Urubatan Jr., and that's pretty much it. I would say that Junqueira deserves. Tomazoni is in a good situation, and thinking specifically about Bassani, Sergio, the good thing is that she's getting comfortable with her car. This Porsche car is very different from everything she has raced before, go-karts or lighter race cars. This car is heavy, is very powerful, and she has to adapt herself into this driving style, and she's doing so. We could see this already this weekend, apart from the pole position that she got yesterday, the first female driver to do so. A good race Saturday, and she was in an interesting performance today as well, getting good positions there after race start, but eventually she was touched. But anyway, a good learning process for her as Antonio Junqueira gets out of his car to celebrate.
Yeah, that's it. And he was actually the first driver this weekend, or the only driver this weekend to win from the pole position. So he started pole and finished first. Great work by Antonio Junqueira. Of course, he lost first position for Christian Moore, but Christian Moore was penalized for a jump start.
Eu quero saber a quem você dedica essa vitória, Antônio.
Hoje é um dia muito especial. Minha filha faz 1 ano, então...
Hoje mesmo?
Hoje. Obrigado, mamãe, por mudar o aniversário, a festinha, pra gente poder estar aqui hoje. Valeu a pena. Foi um dia inesquecível. Obrigado. Filha, parabéns. Te amo.
Parabéns. Luque.
Yeah, nice interview there with Antonio Junqueira. He dedicates this victory for his daughter that is completing 1 year old today. And he also was saying thank you to his wife because she changed the day of the celebrations because of his commitment with Porsche Brazil. But anyway, a nice gift, I would say, for Antonio Junqueira's daughter, Sergio.
Yes, a perfect gift, I would say. You see there Antonio Junqueira commemorating his first victory in the Sprint Challenge category. Great work by him. Seba Malucelli was second. Marcelo Tomassoni was third, followed by Gustavo Zanon and Miguel Mariotti. These were the top 5 in this race. The winner for the rookie class, again, it was Eric Santos with Luis Souza and Gabriel Vallone finishing behind them. So that was a great race. That was a great weekend at Velocitta of racing. We had these 4 great races, 2 yesterday and 2 today. And today in a beautiful day, and we see there twice the name of Antonio Junqueira. That's always good to see, Carlos, driver from the sports class winning overall. I always like to see that. It's very interesting. It shows that they are improving while we see the final results of this race, Carlos.
Yeah, but I agree. As you said, it's nice to see when the guys from the sport class win because it just confirms the potential of driving improvement that this Porsche Cup Brazil Series it has. So Junqueira is one of the embodiments of this situation in this weekend's round at Velocitta, and we have been seeing that it happens from time to time in this series from some time already. It's a pleasure to be able to cover the Brazilian Porsche Cup Series because the whole structure of the series, it works very well, not just allowing driver improvements, but also providing a lot of entertainment and a good level of competitiveness, as we see there Marcelo Tomazzoni and the rest of the drivers, Seba Malucelli, Junqueira, also Zanon and Miguel Mariotti celebrating in the podium. It's very nice to see, and we had, as we could have expected, a very nice round at Velocitta this weekend. Sergio.
Yes, they are there for the photograph. Again, Antonio Junqueira, Malucelli, Tomassoni, Zanon, and Mariotti are the top 5 for the race overall. Porsche Cup Brazil has 6 rounds. The sprint category has 6 rounds, and we also have 3 endurance races. So we still have lots more to come this year. This was just the second round so far. And we see there some images of Antônio Junqueira. So pretty much, he didn't have, I would say it's a very uneventful race for him, Carlos, in a way, because he lost first position to Christian Moore right at the beginning, but then after that he stayed in second. Christian Moore was penalized and he got first position and stayed there. Nobody really went after him after that.
Yeah, and that's his merit because his pace was very good. Actually, nobody was able to attack him, and even though he benefited from Christian Moore's penalty, his performance throughout the whole race was very good. I wouldn't say perfect because he lost the lead position there, but obviously Christian Moore is a very accomplished driver, so that's not something that diminishes Antônio Junqueira's merit in this round. But anyway, he didn't make any mistakes. The fact that he had a clean race is down to his racing skills, so he deserves this victory and he has to celebrate it. Now we see the podium of the sport class of the Sprint Challenge Championship. Of course, Junqueira and Malucelli once more there, alongside Gustavo Zanon, who was also in the general podium. And now they are joined by Carlos Campos and Artur Ramos.
Yes, Carlos Campos and Artur Ramos finished 8th and 9th. Very good results for them. And Gustavo Zanon, who won the sports class yesterday, he finished 4th overall. That was a good result also for Gustavo Zanon. Gustavo Zanon, who is doing a nice work this year. We see again the images of Antônio Junqueira commemorating, arriving there, saying hi to his family. His daughter becomes 1 year old today. Congratulations to her, nice work. And now we have the podium for the rookie class, where we have Eric Santos on top, then second place was Luis Souza, Gabriel Vallone was third, Israel Salman fourth, and then Americo Lanzoni in 5th place. So these are the top 5 drivers for the rookie class of the Sprint Challenge in Porsche Cup Brazil.
Yeah, bad luck today for Sério Brasil. Also from the rookie class that didn't finish the race. He had an incident there with Sadaki Leite, if I'm not wrong. Actually, Sadaki didn't finish the race as well. So eventful Sunday for both of them. But anyway, these guys, they have to celebrate, especially Eric Santos. A very nice round for him. And a podium is always a podium. So a happy moment for Souza, Vallone, Israel Salman, and Americo Lanzoni. And I think it's worthy also to praise Vallone this round because he made his debut in this championship at Velocitta and already with a good performance. So a newcomer that arrives with good form in terms of racing, competitiveness, and so on. And that's it, everyone. The fans, the family, the friends, they have to celebrate because a podium is a very important and happy moment in motorsport.
Yes, it's a great work for them. We see there some of the moments of this race. They always tuned with us at Porsche Cup Brazil. Is the championship of 2023. And it was a great weekend at Velocitta. We had 2 races on Saturday, then 2 races on Sunday. 4 different winners for the 4 races, so that's always interesting. There is the inversion of the grid. We see there the hill where the public stays is already pretty much empty. So we had once again one great race here at Velocitta, Carlos.
Yeah, that's it.